The box office tries to beat her down, but Sydney Sweeney gets right back up. Let's talk about The Housemaid. Hey guys, AJYT Abbott here. Welcome to my review for The Housemaid. This is a movie based on a book that I have not read. I didn't know anything prior to going into this movie. It stars Sydney Sweeney, Amanda Seyfried, and Brendan Sklenar. And yeah, we're gonna get into some juicy bits of drama with this one. So if you guys haven't seen the Housemaid, if you guys haven't read the book even, then this will contain some spoilers. So there's your warning. Let's talk about this. Now, this kind of flew under the radar for me. Obviously, this week I was mainly concerned with reviewing Avatar. I'm gonna review SpongeBob as well, but that'll be next week. But this movie is a drama, like thriller movie where Sydney Sweeney plays this housemaid named Millie, and she goes to this job offering from Amanda Seyfried's character Nina, and honestly, chaos just kind of ensues from there. She is brought into the home as the housemaid. Everyone's really great in this. Sydney Sweeney's kind of playing the straight man in this movie. Brendan's very charismatic, and Amanda's character is nuts. She's going crazy. Brendan Sklenar and Sydney Sweeney's chemistry in this movie is really, really good. You buy it. You buy that Sydney Sweeney is this girl that's kind of down on her luck because she was in prison for years because she murdered someone for beating up and raping her one of her friends that was in her dorm, and she got kicked out of the dorm, got arrested, and she took a plea deal for manslaughter, 15 years. Now she's on parole for the next couple years, and she's not really having a good time finding jobs and finding easy work, which is why she's kind of caught off guard by getting this housemaid job. She's like, as soon as she looks over my record, my history, she's not going to let me babysit her kids and look after her house and everything and be around her family. But no, she totally does, because we find out that Amanda has this plan. She's had this plan from the very, very beginning, because Andrew, Brendan Sklenar's character, not a good guy. Very, very psychotic, misogynistic guy that believes in this ideology that all women deserve to be, or not deserve, all women should just be perfect. Perfection. He strives for perfection in everything. If they so much as not clean a plate correctly, or if they just do anything incorrectly, if they make any mistakes whatsoever, he snaps. It's not a story that you haven't seen before, but there was part of me where I was like, is this guy a bad guy? Because, like, for the most part, they were playing it, like, straight, like, this dude is a pretty charming guy, a reasonable guy, that's willing to help out Millie because she's struggling. He finds out, her past and how she was in jail, and he's like, I'm not going to let anything happen to you. I'm not going to let Nina continue to disrespect you. And that's what kind of turns her on to him and gets, she wants him in her pants. But we find out that this guy locked up Nina in the upstairs room where Millie stays for most of the time in this movie, and he's like, you need to pluck out 100 of your hairs and put it in this envelope, and I'll let you out. And he's so particular about it. Like, he's like, one of them didn't have a follicle, so I'm gonna have to, send you this another envelope, and you're gonna have to pluck out 100 of them again. I'm like, man, this guy's fucking sadistic. And she does it because she wants to see her daughter. So it's really, you really feel for that character, which is so genius, because early on in the movie, for the first half of the movie, you hate Amanda Seyfried's character. You hate Nina so badly because she's constantly blackmailing Sydney Sweeney's character. She sends her to pick up her daughter from ballet, even though she was meant to go to her friend's house that night. So it causes this whole tiff where the friend's mother has to call Nina and be like, hey, your maid is here demanding that, the child goes home with her, but, like, she's supposed to stay with my daughter. And then, like, when she gets home, she's like, I don't know why you went there to pick her up when I told you that they were having a sleepover. Like, she didn't tell her that shit. So it's that kind of stuff that's really gonna irk your nerves and get on the edge of your skin, under your skin, with that character. And it was working. I did not like her in this movie. Like, as performance-wise, I love her in this movie. She's the standout. I love her. And I've always been a fan of her for years. But her character is a bitch. She's such a bitch in this first half of the movie. But then after you learn all of what she's went through, how she's had to deal with this abusive misogynistic relationship where this dude just strives for her to be perfect in every single measure. And that's not the only time he locks her in the room. Like, she talks about, like, she insinuates that he has done this many times to her before. And Amanda's character hatches this plan where she's like, I'm gonna hire a housemaid, and I'm gonna be really bitchy and crazy, and it's gonna come to a point where she is gonna, stay in the house with it. We're gonna have her staying in the house with us, and it's gonna come to a point where he's gonna fall for this maid, and he's gonna be, tired of my bullshit, and he's gonna let me go. And that's exactly what happens. He falls for Millie, and then he kicks Nina out. He's like, I think you need to leave. And then initially it cuts to her like crying, and like you think she's like breaking down over this in the car for like him making her leave her own house, really. And then you get all this context where they're building out the relationship between him and Millie. They have this time together, and then you slowly start to see the cracks of like maybe something else is going on here. And she drops this plate that was a thing that was passed down through his family throughout generations, and he gets pissed about it. And he's like, well, just pick the pieces up, and then I'll have a guy fix it. And she doesn't clean the plates because she was like, I don't want to, cut my hand on the broken shards. And he gets pissed off over that. He locks her in the room and makes her say like, hey, if you don't take this shard of this plate and cut yourself like 20 like so times, and then you put the shard back over the door, underneath the door. If once you do that and you have proof that I have proof that you've cut yourself that many times, I'll let you go. And then you cut back to Nina, and then it's revealed that she was actually like crying like tears of joy. She was like, I'm out of here, let's go. And she goes to a hotel, and she's celebrating, popping champagne, the whole 9 yards, saying, fuck you, Andrew. And then she goes to get her daughter and explains the whole thing to her. But then the daughter's like, we need to go get Millie. We need to go. I was glad she said that. I thought the daughter was going to kind of implement more into the story than what she was, but it's fine. I didn't need her to necessarily, but they go back, and Millie is fighting for her life. She manages to cut herself as many times as he's demanding. He comes in there, and he's like, this is great. We can move forward with this understanding that we want a family. Isn't that what you want? She's like, yeah, but not with you. And then she stabs him in the neck, gets him bleeding. She runs out of there, locks him in the room, and then starts taking all of his precious family heirlooms, the dishes, the gravy boats, the pots, and she starts like dumping them all over the ground, breaking them. She's like, okay, here's the deal. Take these pliers and pull one of your teeth out. He does it, and then she's like, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. And he gets super pissed about it. But then the problem is, she goes to sleep, and then Nina comes in there, breaks Brendan's character out of there, and then he starts attacking them. Eventually, he manages to get knocked over the railing by Sweeney's character, and he dies, which is a callback to earlier in the film where she's like, I don't know why he designed these stairs like this. I swear I'll trip over them and like kill myself one day. Which is how they pitch it, where like he was trying to fix a light bulb and he accidentally fell over there, so they pitch it as an accident kill. And there's a bit of a convenience there where one of the police officers is like, yeah, he was actually married, or he was with my sister or something, like my sister-in-law or my sister. And she knows that he was abusive as fuck, so she kind of helps them cover it up. That was a bit convenient. There's a lot of conveniences in here, but I had so much fun with this movie, just laughing at some of the overtop performances that are still really great, and just the chaos of it all. I had an absolute blast with The Housemaid. I should have held out from doing my most surprising movies of the year video, because this would have been on here. Loved it. I loved The Housemaid. Tell me what you guys thought in the comments below. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. It is full of twists and turns, some things that you can kind of see coming, but when they actually reveal the context behind the twist, I got into it a lot more. I was like, okay, this isn't just some generic twist and reveal. Like, there's actually some meat to the twist that's going on here. There was a deeper meaning to certain things that were said earlier on in the film, things that were insinuated by the characters, their actions, so I found it to be a fascinating watch. I loved it, and I can't wait to watch it again. So that's going to be it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care, and goodbye.